How y'all doing? Just to let you all know of an upcoming project I'm going to be working on for some time here. I have no idea how long it's going to take me. It's going to be done when it's done. And that is a set of miniatures to a game called Warhammer Quest Blackstone Fortress, developed by Games Workshop. And I just looked at this game through certain YouTube channels there, and it looks like pretty fun here. And well, let me show you what all I got. So by picking up the base game, I also got the expansions as well here. So here we have the basic box game itself there. That's 44 miniatures right there. But I also pick up the expansions of Escalation and Ascension, adding more miniatures and adventures towards this. But that's not all. There's also some minor expansions here. Let's see. We got the No Respite, introducing some Plague Marines and some Servants of Nurgle. We got the Dreaded Ambul. We got Deadly Alliance featuring the Zote miniature. And we got Trader's Command. So all this together here, that's up to over 70 miniatures I have I've collected and I'm yet going to paint. And for additional adventures and all that, we have the Blackstone Fortress Annual 2019, which is all the articles of the White Dwarf magazine that features stuff for Blackstone Fortress and put it all in one deal. So there you go. Quite a bit ahead of me. So what's this game about? Well, it's a simple standalone game. It takes place in Games Workshop's Warhammer 40,000 universe. So let me read the description here. The galaxy is riven with strife and horror in an age of darkness. The desperate and intrepid alike search for long-lost technologies that may be used to turn the tides of war. In Warhammer Quest Blackstone Fortress, you take on a role of a group of desperate explorers delving into the labyrinthine halls of a vast and ancient space station. Only by working together and balancing your strength and skills can you hope to survive. With such expeditions, you will discover powerful archaeotech and learn more of the Blackstone Fortress' closely guarded secrets, including perhaps the location of the greatest treasure, that which lies concealed and protected within the hidden vault at its very heart. In Warhammer 40,000 universe, sort of a science fiction gothic type setting here, and one of the structures there that I've read before in other games, like Battlefleet Gothic and parts of the Warhammer 40,000 lores is Blackstone Fortress, which looks like the 8-pointed star of chaos when viewed at a right angle. It's an ancient space station, very vast, so that's where the story takes place. You play a number of characters, about up to 9, if you're including the 2 ratlings that serve as a team. There's for many of us familiar with board games like Hero Quest and all that, you have like a barbarian, elf, a dwarf, and a wizard, or some combination like that, or D&D has that. This is playing on the same thing because you have various forms of humans. You have an Eldar, a Crude, a machine, giant intelligent robot of various kinds. You use their abilities to work together on a hexagonal modular board to fight through various monsters or creatures that live there. Spindle drones, Chaos Space Marines, Traitor Imperial Guard, Beastmen. For those who are familiar with Warhammer 40,000 lore, you are familiar with all this stuff, and that's what kind of got me into this, because back when a friend of mine introduced me to Games Workshop and Warhammer 40,000 universe, at that time, some of the booklets that he had some of these things like this from way back in the day, and they bring that back from time to time. So there's a bit of nostalgic knowing what all these are in, even though these aren't the models at the time. Now, all that being said, much as I'd like to put all this together, paint them up, and play a few rounds, there is solo play. That's one of the things, also reason why I got this, because I don't have much time to get together with friends and play this. But there is solo play. You just follow a certain initiative. Your opponents run through a sort of an AI roll of dice. Here's what they do to advance, charge, that sort of thing. So that's what appealed to me about this as well. But as far as Games Workshop, over the years, I enjoyed the living daylights out of this company up until around the end of the 2000s. See, back then, before that, Games Workshop, had mostly metals. Then later on, from late 90s to the end of the 2000s, they had a combination of both metal and plastic miniatures. I always preferred metal miniatures, and I understood going to plastics. I understood the pros and cons of that, and And I do love and miss when they had metals. Now they all turn to plastic, and unfortunately, and one of the things I stopped going to Games Workshop products is that they're way overpriced. They're extorting a lot of the hardcore players who spent years collecting and playing all this. So now Games Workshop was always a little bit more expensive than, say, Route Parth or Heartbreaker Grenadier back in the day. But you got what you paid for. You honestly believed yourself. I thought it did. I enjoyed a lot of their products, especially the miniatures. But I missed the time when they missed metal, like this one. A friend of mine just gave me this, just yesterday. It's an old Crusader from the Demon Hunters and Witch Hunters army back in, you hook this up to your regimental command squad. And I just love to look at him. He had a spare. I told him about this. He looked at his collection, and he gave this to me. He said, "Here, you can have it." And there's a similar one in one of the expansions of this guy, except the sword is pointed down. So, but this is the stuff I miss from the old Games Workshop. But at least with this and all the expansions, I have everything I want. I don't have to go any further unless they bring out new expansions. So I don't have to keep dropping money every single time. Now, when it comes to these box games, unlike Warhammer Age of Sigmar and Warhammer 40,000, their current lines, they're box games they only bring out, they last a few years, and then they just stop selling it. From a marketing point, I kind of understand why. I mean, once you got all this, you really can't sell anymore unless you wear it out. That could be years from now. Not a very good business model. With Games Workshop's main army stuff, like Warhammer 40,000 and Age of Sigmar, you could keep buying armies, expanding it, and if you still like it, every few years they revise the rules. And that was another thing. I got me a few years back, I grabbed the current rules and grabbed the codex to the army I built up, and a year or so later, they revised the rules again in the codex. So I was like, that's it. With the amount of money that cost to purchase the books alone, no. And since I wasn't playing it anyway, so I decided to stop Games Workshop. Unless I really, really liked it. I can't even, you can't even get a single miniature like this that would be plastic. If this was single, this could be around $25. Something like this would have been around $12 for a 2-pack back in the day. So they raise up the price and you get not as much as what they used to be. But I'm digressing about this. This is kind of a love-hate relationship. I mean, I love what they produce out. I don't care their business practices. And I'm sure a lot of you have similar feelings about that. But despite all that, Warhammer Quest Blackstone Fortress, which is, at least in my neck of the woods, seems to sell out like that in a gaming store I go to. So I went ahead and grabbed what I could in any store that I could, and it looks like I have it all, so I'm going to try them in time. I'll put these miniatures together and paint them up and see the results, and it'll be maybe months from now because I'd be reading books or working on this. I still got to go to work, but I'll let you know. I'll try to do my normal slideshow and show the results. I'm not going to do an unboxing. If you want to know this, just go Warhammer Quest Blackstone Fortress unboxings. There are plenty of well-made videos from guys who do stuff better than me about what contains in this and what all you get for it. So if you want to, I can link a couple of them down below if you ask. And also play games. I'm not really set up to play sample games, even though it's solo. I got a foldable card table, but I'm not even sure if it's big enough to do that, so I'll have to work that out as I go along. But there's plenty of channels that are dedicated to gaming, including Warhammer Quest Blackstone Fortress. And again, they do much better than I do, so you can see how the game plays out. So if you're interested, try that. Still available on their website as they're making this channel, but it looks of it, it's almost at the tail end of, unless they build it up again, it's almost at the tail end of it. So grab it while you can if you're interested. So that's my project here. Thank you all for watching. You have a nice day.